Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, skittle down, boy. Say,
Babylon, you wrong. Babylon, you wrong. Babylon, you're wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Yes. Babylon, you're wrong. Babylon, you're wrong.
Babylon, you're wrong.
Babylon, you're wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Yeah.
We lost 100 million in the middle passage. Stored and packed away like unused baggage. Crying as we're dying on one another. Oh, 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 oh. Babylon, your history proves.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Your business on the block for your money, Tory sword. Straight up my family for your riches and your gold. You neither show no mercy to the young nor the old. But now you can't be paid, boy, you soon time will come down.
Who would have guessed you brought Willie Lynch? On top of that, the New Testament placed us in chains, changed our names. Until this day, we are destroyed.
I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong.
Practice with the whip, made us turn around and worship a white man on a
White man
stick.
are not stick.
Led us to our graves by giving us a God that could not save.
No, let's see, man.
Babylon, your history proves you're wrong.
Say Babylon, you will learn when the tables will turn. When the righteous shall rule in Babylon, you feel burn. No more mental slavery, teaching lies to the youth. The righteous shall prevail with the Almighty's truth. The righteous shall stand and be strong and bold to execute the judgment upon the idiot them also. The truth has been told from the days of old. The meek shall rejoice and don't cry no more. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong.
Oh, wicked Babylon, yes, your time has come. By the hand of Yah, you will fall. Murderers, child molesters, and you rapists of our mothers. Oh, Babylon, you will fall.
I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong now. I'm a million, I say you're wrong, yeah.
Shalom and praise the mighty Yah. First and foremost, giving all praise and honor to the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is by saying hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. And let Yahweh be magnified. Once again, the Creator has allowed us to come before you on this great and glorious and honorable day, even the day of the very 11th new month of our first year. We praise the mighty Yah for another day and for another month. He allowed us to see the season, and so this day we will worship him, we will praise him, we will honor him and glorify his great name through his great, holy, and exalted words. Again, let me say shalom to our beautiful brothers and sisters that are tuning in and will tune in to this new month service. In this new month service, we will just deal with Babylon. That was the song. Babylon, you will fall. Because make no mistake about it, Babylon time is coming up. Many people are aware that yesterday, on the 20th, January the 20th, that the new president, the new king of Babylon was sworn into office. And of course, he went right to work, commuting people that beat the police down, clubbed the police down, injured the police, traumatized many policemen, where now they can't even work today. This is how traumatizing it was. Now, this trauma didn't take place from a bunch of people that's accustomed to being traumatized and victimized like black people. If black people had done this, it would have been quite understandable. Because these are people that are oppressed by the police every day in their own communities. They will tell you that they are protecting and serving. But if you ask the people, the black people in our community, there's no protection at all in our community. There's more murders in our community than any community. More killings, more robbings, break-ins, car thefts. How is that protecting the community when your community is crime-ridden and you say you're protecting? And then you say you're serving the community. Well, how are you doing that? When your service has been to frisk, to arrest, to detain, and to humiliate, and ultimately to kill. That's serving. That's a strange way to serve a people. I thought serving someone was to help somebody, was to lift somebody up, to wait hand and feet on someone. That's not the type of service that black people have gotten in this country, nor their own communities. So now we're in this 11th month. And why are we talking about Babylon? Because, again, the people have spoken. They went to the polls, and they said, this is the king we want. In spite of all the naysayers, the mourning, the people say this man should be in jail. The first president elected that's a felon. And what did the felon do? He commuted and pardoned other felons. Over 1,500 of them. And whether they were felons or misdemeanors or whatever, these people broke the law in the worst kind of way because they did this against a government and government officials that did nothing to them. In other words, all they did was lost the election. Now, when black people go to the street, typically it's because somebody been murdered, somebody been killed, somebody been maimed. So it's understandable. But what happened other than the fact that over 4 years ago, Donald Trump lost the election, and these people went to the street, went to the Capitol. And they talking about black people rioting. Sound like and look like a double standard going on in Babylon. And there's always been a double standard. The reason why it's so important to deal with this in this 11th month, because you're going to see what the 11 actually stand for, what it means, what its purpose about. Most people don't. They see 11, all they see is a number. But what they don't see is what I'm about to show you. Watch this, since we're talking about Babylon in this 11th month. Watch what the scriptures say about Babylon and when it said it. For example, in the book of Genesis, the 11th chapter. Since we're talking about the 11th month, this is the first time the word Babylon, Babel, is even mentioned in the scriptures. The 11th chapter. And why? Because you're going to see that this has everything to do with the 11th. Since we're in the 11th month of our first year of the Sabbaths of years. And watch what it says. Genesis 11:1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone. Slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city in a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And so instantly we begin to see that it don't matter how much unity you have, you can be totally unified. But if that unity is not with the Most High, and this was not, then your unity is totally in vain. And oftentimes, people want to be unified, they want to be one, but then to be one, to be unified, to be together, to speak the same language, act the same way, think the same way, you got to put Yahweh on the back burner. And Yahweh is not being on the back burner for nobody. Why should he? He's the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is. And you will rather compromise your relationship with the Most High for some fake, phony, fictitious unity that you have that will amount to nothing. Watch what this says. The 5th verse. And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. And Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Because most people, now all they doing is going by their own imaginations. Go to, let us go down. There confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Yahweh scattered them abroad from this upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahweh did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. So here, this is the first time the name Babel was mentioned. And you might ask yourself, well, what do this have to do? This is ancient Babylon. Well, what do you think we're at today? Today, we're in the daughter of Babylon. Here it is. We in a country that's represented by many languages. And all these various languages, all these various speeches, all these various states have come together to say, okay, we're going to be one. 50 different states saying, look, we're going to be one. We think different, we are different, we got different territories, but we're going to be one. And we're going to build as one. And this oneness, this unity that they are building are not in the best interest of many of their citizens, especially and particularly the black ones. And not only is not in their best interest, but many of these foreigners going to find out it's not in their best interest either. Even though they'll tell you, well, this is a country full of immigrants. Well, if this is a country full of immigrants, then why can't an immigrant be a president? If this is a country full of immigrants, and as I said before, you're going to see why the 11th, as we see in Genesis, the 11th chapter, why this is very, very essential to know. That's Genesis, the 11th chapter. But look what Yahweh would do, even in Exodus, the 11th chapter, because the 11th represents division. It don't just represent division, it's the type of division that will ultimately separate one to the Most High and another from the Most High. And a lot of people don't realize this. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. And today, our people, they have chosen Babylon. They're with Babylon, even though Babylon is not with them. And many of our people are caught up in their own imaginations, their own emotions, their own feelings, not realizing you weren't even made, designed for your own self. Your whole creative person was made and designed for the Creator himself. So while you caught up in all your imaginations and all your emotions and all your feelings, you're not even thinking about Yahweh feelings, Yahweh emotions, Yahweh thoughts and ways. You're thinking about your own. Because at the end of the day, you just have a bunch of imaginations. Here it is in the book of Exodus, the 11th chapter. Since we're talking about the 11th month, I just want you to see what it says about this 11th. Here it is. Our people, when they were in Egypt, this is what the Creator said. Genesis, the 11th chapter, the 4th verse. And Moshe said, thus says Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon the throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how Yahweh do put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And Yahweh going to do that again. He's going to put a difference between Babylon and his people. There's nothing new under the sun. So Yahweh will make this happen again. As he did in Egypt, as he did in Babylon, he will also do in what we know of as America. But he's got to, when Yahweh do this, when Yahweh make this difference, he's going to allow them to make the difference first, as they already have been doing. And how would they make the difference? They're going to show you, Israel, that you're the tail. Even though you know internally, you know in spirit, you know in heart that you're the tail, you just don't want to believe it. And they're going to make you believe that you are indeed the tail. And when you're made the tail, and you're going to be made the tail sooner rather than later, then what will you do? Will you still have the petty differences that you have? Will you still be fighting over things that you should have never been fighting about? Will you begin to still hate one another, scorn one another, tailbear against one another? Matter of fact, you have not even accepted yet that it was Babylon that separated you anyway. Because this is what Babylon do. Here it is in Babylon. The first time you ever heard the word segregation. And what was and what is segregation? Segregation is when you segregated in one area, one town, one community, one race from everybody else. Yeah, that was born in Babylon, nowhere else. And then you fought for integration. But let me tell you, the more you integrated, the more they segregated. We're dealing with the 11th. We see in Exodus, the 11th chapter, where Yahweh said he was going to make a difference. But he didn't just say there. Yahweh was so detailed, so meticulous, that not only he would make a difference with you and other people, watch what the Creator said in the book of Leviticus, the 11th chapter. And watch this. In the book of Leviticus, the 11th chapter, this is what it says. And I'm going to read the 44th verse. It says, "For I am Yahweh, your Elohim." This is Leviticus, the 11th chapter. Watch what it says. "Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves." And nobody want to sanctify. But that means you can't just be caught up in your emotions and your feelings, your thoughts, your imaginations. No, you got to sanctify yourself. And Yahweh is going to show you how one sanctify himself. Watch what it says. "Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy." What you think the word holy means? The word holy means sanctify. You shall be separated. "For I am holy." Because he separated. He sanctified. "Neither shall ye defile yourself with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. For I am Yahweh that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your Elohim. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the beast, of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten." In other words, Yahweh was so detailed, so meticulous, he even wanted your food to be separated. Separated unto him in holiness. So how do you think he feel about you being separated? to him in holiness. Of course he wants you to be separated, but no, you don't want to be separated in holiness. You want to be like everybody else, think like everybody else, imagine like everybody else, feel like everybody else, fulfill the customs of everybody else, vote like everybody else. But you refuse to be sanctified, separated, different. Here it is. If a man really want to be a whole man, the first thing he got to learn to do is to be different. If a woman want to be a real woman to Yahweh, she's got to learn to be different. And how can you be different and you just like everybody else? That's why the scripture says a faithful man who can find. Because a faithful man, that's not like everybody else. That's being different than everybody else. A virtuous woman who can find. Because she's being different than everybody else. But everybody else is like all the other women. And you don't want to be different. You want to be the same. And that's the point. Watch this. In the book of 1 Kings, the 11th chapter. And I may add, 1 Kings is the 11th book of the Holy Scriptures. And this is where the Almighty will begin to separate all the various different kings. But watch this king here. In the book of 1 Kings, the 11th chapter, in the 11th month. And watch what it says. The very first verse. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye should not go into them, neither shall they come into you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their idols, after their gods, after their deities. And Solomon, who was a king of Israel, cleaved unto these in love. And he had 700 wives, princes, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his Elohim, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after the deity of the Zidonians, the deity and abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh and went not fully after Yah as did David his father. And then did Solomon build high places for the abomination of Moab in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and the abomination of the children of Ammon. Likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burned incense and sacrifice unto their gods. See what Babylon will make you do? See what Babel will make you do? You see what strangers will make you do? If you don't follow Yahweh fully and wholeheartedly. And here it is, our people going to all kind of churches in Babylon, None of these churches are mentioned in the scriptures. Not one of them. None of these religions are mentioned in the scriptures. Not one of them. And their false worship is not even mentioned. Nobody celebrated Christmas. Nobody celebrated Easter in the scriptures. This is all paganism that come from Babylon. When will we begin to separate, make a difference, and sanctify ourselves unto Yahweh? If not, the very month that represents separation, sanctification. But look, make no mistake about it. See, you don't even have to, you already made that choice. You're either going to sanctify yourself to Yah and be holy, or you're going to sanctify yourself unto the devil. It's either or. And either you're serving Yah or you are not. And it don't take much to show, to demonstrate who will serve Yah and who is serving Yah. Because to serve Yah is to sanctify yourself. And our people, they're going to have to learn this the hard way. Because our people learn nothing the soft way, the easy way, the right way. The only way they learn what I'm saying is by hard medicines. It is. The Creator tells us this. Watch this. I know the truth. And watch what it says. And I want you to go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel, the 11th chapter. Because in this chapter, the Almighty talk about restoring his people. But our people, they don't even believe this. And watch what it says. And we're going to start reading. Watch what the Creator says. Starting at the 4th verse. Therefore prophesy against them. Prophesy, O son of man. And the Spirit of Yahweh fell upon me and said unto me, Speak, thus says Yahweh. Thus have ye said, O house of Israel. For I know that the things that come into your mind, I know what they are. Every one of them. Ye have multiplied your slain in your city. Ye have filled the streets thereof with the slain. Therefore, thus says Yahweh Elohim, your slain who you have laid in the midst of it, they are the flesh, and this city is the country. But I will bring you forth out of the midst of it. Ye have feared the sword, and I will bring a sword upon you, says Yahweh. And I will bring you out of the midst thereof, and deliver you into the hands of strangers, and will execute judgments among you. And where do you think we're at today? And who are we in the midst today of? Watch what it says. Ye shall fall by the sword. I will judge you in the border of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. This city shall not be your conjurum, neither shall ye be the flesh in the midst thereof. But I will judge you in the border of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, for ye have not walked in my statutes, neither executed my judgments, but have done after the manner of the heathen that are round about you. And just think about how you think. You don't even think like Yahweh. You don't think like an Elohim. You're not thinking righteous imaginations. All your thoughts are thoughts of war, thoughts of hate, thoughts of wrath, thoughts of vengeance, thoughts of killing and murdering and getting even with one another. Like a crab in a barrel, you're not going up, you're coming back down. This is the inner man of the children of Israel. We're not thinking about the judgments and the statutes of Yahweh. Not the way we act, not how we against one another. And watch what it says. The 14th verse. And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, thy brother, even thy brother, the men of thy kindred, and all the house of Israel, holy are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get you far from Yahweh. Unto us is this land given in possession. Therefore say, Thus says Yahweh Elohim, although I have cast thee far off from among the heathen, although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. Why do you think we have a sanctuary today? Because Yahweh said he will be a little sanctuary in the midst of the countries that he scattered us. Because the 11th is all about division, scattering abroad, like we read in Genesis, the 11th chapter. Because your unity, your oneness is not in Yah. Your imaginations is not the laws, the commandments and statutes, the judgments of Yahweh. You got some voodoo mentality that you are upholding that you learned from Babylon. And it's not justified in the scriptures. And you're going to have to learn how to return back to Yahweh, to sanctify yourself in Yahweh. And we're going to show you how to do that this month. How do you sanctify yourself unto Yahweh? Because if you're not sanctifying yourself unto Yahweh, you sanctifying yourself unto the devil. And Yahweh has a standard. And Yahweh's standard will rise up. It's going to raise up, and you're going to either accept it or reject it. And let me show you this standard in the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter. In the book of Isaiah, the 11th chapter, and watch what it says. We're going to read the 10th verse. And in that day, there shall be a root of Jesse, which stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And in other places, it don't even say an ensign. It literally would tell you a standard. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign, which means standard, for the nations, and assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth. This is what Yahweh is going to do. This is what he's going to do. Make no mistake about it. Those that are scattered will be brought back from the sword. But Yahweh made it crystal clear it's only going to be a remnant. And why? Not because that's all Yahweh wants. Yahweh ain't, he don't just want a remnant. He has no pleasure in the death of the wicked. He wants everybody to be saved. But guess what? Everybody is not interested in being saved. Everybody is not interested in being with Yah. And only a remnant will show by example and make the sacrifices needed to be a part of that remnant. So in other words, they're not going to go by their own imaginations. They're going to go by the word of Yahweh. And it's the word of Yahweh that will save them. But everybody else, they would just imagine a thing. And the very thing that they will imagine will be their truth. But it will be their demise. Because Yahweh, his thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. And as the heaven is high above the earth, so is his thoughts, so is his ways above ours. We're in the 11th month of our Hebrew calendar in the first year. And what do the 11th represent? It represents division, separation. How Yahweh will divide one to him and separate another from him. And the ones that are separated to him are those who chose him. Because ultimately, you have to choose Yahweh. You think Yahweh just choosing you. No, you got to choose him. And once you choose him, then of course he chooses you. But you got to choose him. And our people don't want to choose Yahweh. They don't even realize what they're made and designed to do. And Yahweh gave us the power to choose him. All through the scriptures, he would tell us to choose good or evil. curses or blessings. And that's all we got to do. Watch this. Deuteronomy, the 11th chapter. When will we wake up? When we wake up out of this sleep. Watch this. Deuteronomy 11. In the book of Deuteronomy, the 11th chapter, so you can see for yourself what I'm telling you. It's the truth. Watch this. And we're going to start reading at the 26th verse. It says, behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you this day, and a curse if ye will not obey the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, but turn aside out of the way, which I command you this day, to go after other gods, which ye have not known. Don't you see the division? Don't you see how Yahweh set life up? Is either in or out, up or down, left or right, good or evil, blessing or curse. And which one would you choose? This is all you have to ask yourself. And now you're in a month where you can put your mind to choosing the right thing. You can put your mind to it. Because this is what this month, this is what the 11th represent. So now put your mind to it. The last scripture is in the book of Numbers, the 11th chapter. And watch what it says. Numbers 11. And why are we even talking? What is the purpose? The purpose is to demonstrate, to show you that Babylon itself, just yesterday, elected a new king, a new president that's raised up to show you, to demonstrate to you how divisive he can be. And he's going to show in clear-cut division the evil that Yahweh been trying to show you all along. His first act is to pardon a bunch of criminals that came against a government that he's president of, and went against government officials, called the Senate, called the Congress, called policemen, Capitol Police. And many of them got their head beat in. But guess what this divisive president do? His first act, as we go into this 11th month, he made a difference. And he pardoned them. Over 1,500 of them. Pardoned them to show, to demonstrate what this presidency is going to be about. And let me tell you what it's going to be about. It's going to be about the worst case of breaking the law that you ever seen. He's already a convicted felon, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Every law, not just of the Most High, but even the laws of this land will be made void. They will be broken. Any good thing will be turned into evil. And you will see a clear-cut difference, just like Yahweh said. And watch this. Numbers, the 11th chapter. Because this is what the mind of our people, the imagination of our people is all about. I just want you to see this. Numbers, the 11th chapter, the 4th verse. And a mixed multitude that was among them fell a-lusting. And our people just a lustful people. And the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. Yeah, you ate that freely, but you don't remember you was a slave. You don't remember you was in captivity. You don't remember you was oppressed. So oppressed that you cried out to the Most High. But you don't remember your oppression. You remember the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks and the onions and the garlic that you would eat. But you don't remember the oppression and how they killed your firstborn and how they killed men and how they set up the women that when they would have babies, they could throw them in a river. You don't remember that? But you remember a melon and a cucumber? Just like our people today. They don't remember all the hangings and the lynchings and the rapes and the pillaging and the homosexuality. They don't remember none of this stuff that took place during slavery. They don't remember the segregated times during the time of and the oppression during Jim Crow. They don't remember none of that. They don't forgot all about the past. History has been beaten out of them. And now we're here. And watch what the scripture says while we're in this Numbers, the 11th chapter. And this is what it says. And I'm going to read. The 16th verse. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be elders of the people, officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there. And I will take of the spirit which is upon thee, and will pull it upon them. And they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear not thyself alone. And this is the part that I want you to see, the 18th verse. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. For ye have wept in the ears of Yahweh, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore Yahweh will give you flesh, and ye shall eat. And ye shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month, until it come out of your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto you, because that ye have despised Yahweh, which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? And here we are today, here in Babylon. And you're going to see, you already see, a lot of people crying because of the oppression of our people in Babylon. But you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing. Because now that a criminal is ruling the land, they all been criminals. But this criminal right here, he's the cream of the crop. This man is so criminal that his own peers and people convicted him. But he's about to show what a convicted felon would do when he's running the asylum. And Yahweh gonna make it crystal clear. Until our next meeting, Yahweh love you. And so do I. Shalom.